Hi everybody, what a pleasure it is to be before you here and have a chance to share with you my mentoring experiences. I would not be sitting here as the Young Australian of the Year for 2013 if it were not for one of my mentors. His name was Mr. Andrew Bell. Now to give you some context, I actually need to take you back a little bit. I came here as a 11-year-old boy. I didn't speak English, I looked different to everyone else, and I had come from Afghanistan. And I'd lived for many years in a place called Peshawar in Pakistan, and that place was full of extreme poverty, full of disease, full of crime, and it was just the most difficult place to live in. And coming to Australia, suddenly I had all these amazing things, I had all these amazing educational opportunities, and yet I really struggled. I really struggled because I didn't speak the language, I didn't understand the culture, and at school I would fail quite a number of tests, often English tests, spelling tests, and the other kids would call me stupid. And at first you kind of brush it off, but after a while, as any kid who knows who's been bullied, you kind of start accepting that maybe these people have some truth to their claims on me, and you become defined by these insults. And so what you do is you try to turn these insults around, try to turn it on its head, and take it as a badge of honor. So I wore this badge on my chest, stupid person. And as a result of that, and of many, many other things, I became a very lost, delinquent young man. A very, very angry young man. It was at this stage in my life that an amazing teacher entered. There were many, many amazing teachers, but he in particular. His name was Mr. Andrew Bell. And he had this amazing countenance about him. He was a very kind man, and he is a very kind man, very compassionate, very wise, very gentle, and he always had a smile on his face for me. He always had a smile. He was always happy to see me. Now, for a kid who completely lacks self-esteem, who thinks he's no good on the inside, when somebody comes up to you and is that positive around you, it's pretty hard to believe them at first. It's really, really hard to believe them because your expectation is that people are going to be terrible to you. And he wasn't. And it took a long time before he broke down my defenses. And we would sit in the library before school, after school, recess, lunch, and he would tell me stories from history because he knew that I loved history and he was a history teacher himself. And he had me unwrap with all these stories from the Russian Revolution to the French Revolution, and that's how he got me. He got me through the hook of stories. But what he's really doing, and I only realized that a couple of years later, was he was teaching me how to articulate myself, how to speak English, how to construct an argument, how to persuade. He was teaching me how to be a decent young man. He was almost presenting me with an alternative version for myself, a better version, a kinder version. And he did it through simply being who he was. I've come to realize the best mentors are those who model the right kind of behavior. They don't preach, they don't give sermons, they just sit down and they be. And because of Mr. Andrew Bell, my life changed in so many ways. Because I found that self-confidence within myself, my academic results started improving. I went from failing to being the top student. I went from being an ostracized, invisible kid, a brown one at that too, to being the student leader, to being the head boy. How does that transformation happen? It happens because a mentor stepped in. And that's what's so special about mentoring, is that it can supplement, it can complement, it can enhance the formal educational experience of all young people. At first, the mentee doesn't realize what he or she has been given. Much like me, I had no idea what I'd been given. It is only through time that we discover, wow, I'd been given such an incredible gift. Somebody had believed in me in a time when I did not believe in myself. Somebody had given me all these tools by which to become a better person, to articulate myself. Somebody had actually given me a voice. These are things we only realize much later down the road. So what I would like to tell to the mentors, trust in the process and trust in yourself. Because I promise the impact that you're having on this young person will bear fruit many, many years down the road.